Well, as we witness those unprecedented scenes in Sri Lanka with people taking over government buildings, now the Prime Minister's office, the state-run broadcaster. Joining us on NDTV now is former cricketer Sanath Jayasuriya, who's been one of the fiercest critics of the current establishment in Sri Lanka. Mr. Jayasuriya, thanks very much for joining us. When you look at these scenes that are playing out on the streets of Colombo and elsewhere, did you ever imagine it would come to this?
A bit unfortunate, actually, seeing this. Even the 9th of July was a similar situation, but today is another day. It's sad to see, because the protesters were informed on the 9th that 13th will the President and the Prime Minister will resign, but unfortunately it didn't happen yet, but it will eventually. But so this is why it has started like this. So nobody wants to go to this extent, but the things are very bad at the moment.
So you're saying it's squarely the responsibility of Mr. Rajapaksa and Mr. Wickremesinghe for not keeping their promise to resign?
Yes, after the 9th, they said that the board said that they will resign. And also the Prime Minister said that on his Twitter also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he will resign. But the things have changed with the promise they did. The people in this country seems to be not have any confidence with this, the people who are governing at the moment. So this is why the protest is very clear. It's a peaceful protest started. Nothing violent, so still they will continue like the peaceful, because we all ask a protester to be peaceful, not to be violent, and do the peaceful protest much as possible. This is what we have been doing. This is why the Sri Lankan the protest movement is unique, and I hope all the protesters will keep that protest peacefully.
Right. What did you feel about the president fleeing the country, running away to the Maldives, and he's going to another country after that? More clarity is awaited on that. But what did you think of the fact that he decided to flee?
Yeah, the people from the start, the protesters and the country, the people said was to resign. That is his own decision to left the country, but the people wants to resign. So he left the country without resigning, and also he has given the power. The speaker said that power has given to Ranil Wickremesinghe for time being. So the people will not trust anymore. So this is what's happening at the moment in my country.
But do you think he should have stayed back to at least have had the courage to face his own people rather than run away like this?
It's his individual decision, but the people never asked to leave the country. They asked only to resign. So that's his own decision to go out of the country, and also to Prime Minister to resign, because we have been suffering. I think you all been showing all the images of what's going on for last few months in Sri Lanka. It's unfortunate that we don't want to continue with this protest anymore. So we'll have to stop somewhere quickly and get the people what they wanted, and we want the peaceful life back soon.
Mr. Jayasuriya, there is a worry though that there is a power vacuum in Sri Lanka with, the president leaving on one hand, the Prime Minister becoming the acting president, the chaos that we're seeing right now on the streets of Colombo, government buildings being occupied, and that a power vacuum will actually bring even more instability to the country. Are you concerned about that?
Yeah, it is. It is the concern. But only thing we can do is the speaker, the parliament, need to come up with a plan with the party leader, the opposition leader, the other party leaders, former presidents. We have quite a lot of people who have experience in this system. So the speaker need to come up with a plan and sit and have a meeting with the party leaders, and to give a solution to the people of this country. So they are the one who in the system, they are the one who in the parliament. So the nobody else is in the parliament. So according to the constitution, they can do to avoid this vacuum. and get the proper people in place.
You've also had words of praise for India's help for Sri Lanka in this time of crisis. Tell us more about that and you know, the kind of help that India has offered. Is there anything else that you think India can do at this point to help your country?
I think India always maintaining their the goodwill with Sri Lankan people, because from the start the Indian government and the High Commission in Colombo has been very helpful for the Sri Lankans, and the Indian government has given $4 billion worth of aid to Sri Lanka, the fuel, everything's been given. But the thing is, how long we can ask from India. So we also need to have a plan in our own politicians should have their own plan to overcome with those help. So India has given a lot of things to Sri Lanka. We always, as Sri Lankan or myself, thank to India, because they are neighbors, and not only Indians but all the other countries, the friendly nations have helped Sri Lanka at the moment. I hope when the government is stable, they will come up and help more to Sri Lanka.
Mr. Jayasuriya, what is it actually going to take for the protesters to push to stop now, to you know, move away from the government buildings, the presidential palace, the Prime Minister's office? What will it take for the protests to stop?
I think immediate thing is to step down the President and the Prime Minister. That is the key thing they are asking. And we need to discuss with the protesters also. They need to also be part of these the meetings. They should also and get their views also, because they are demanding something. So we need to listen to them. So that is the key thing. So the political leaders should listen to the protesters also. It's not harm to listen to them.
All right, Mr. Jayasuriya, we're watching the situation closely. Thank you for joining us and giving us your perspective. As I said, you have been one of the fiercest critics of this government and what has been going on in Sri Lanka. We hope that your country pulls out of this crisis sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you.